It was an historic day for the Detroit Lions. But first, college sports. Welcome to the Michigan Sports Report, where we cover college basketball, college baseball, college hockey, and college football. And then the Detroit Red Wings, the Detroit Pistons, Lions, and who am I missing? The Tigers. The Tigers, who did not went to the postseason this past year with a bullpen that was matched to none. They need more starters, although Screwball was a gem, probably the best pitcher in the league. I digress. Welcome into the Michigan Sports Report. In college hockey, we'll talk about the Lions at the end of this video, I promise, but college hockey, number 11, Michigan swept number 5, Boston University in Boston. They won 5-1 on Friday and 5-4 in overtime on Saturday. Evan Werner for Michigan had 3 goals in this series. And Jackson Hallam had 3 goals, including the game winner in overtime on Saturday. Michigan is now 5-2-1 this season, and they will be moving up in the ranking. Number 3, Michigan State was off this past weekend. Ohio State is up next for them. Notre Dame is up next for Michigan, both at home. All right, in college basketball news, both teams are going to be starting the season for real. Exhibition season is over. Michigan basketball plays their real first game versus Cleveland State tomorrow. And then they play Wake Forest at Wake Forest on Sunday. Michigan State has Monmouth tomorrow and Niagara on Thursday. Moving on to college football, which was not good for either of these programs. Michigan football lost to number 1 Oregon Saturday 38-17. Michigan is 5-4 now and has to go to number 8 and undefeated Indiana this upcoming Saturday at 3:30 on CBS. Michigan State football lost to that Indiana team on Saturday 47-10. They scored the first 10 points of the game, and then 47 unanswered by Indiana. Michigan State is also on the road this week at Illinois. Michigan State is now 4-5. Michigan has to win 1 of 3 games to make a bowl, and Michigan State has to win 2 of 3 to get to bowl eligibility the remainder of this season. The Red Wings are 5-1 now for 11 points. They are 8 points behind Florida in the Atlantic Division. The Pistons are now 2-5 after a 106-92 win tonight versus the Nets on Sunday. In that game, Jalen Duren was 5 of 5 for 14 points. The center had 17 rebounds, 3 blocks, along with 4 assists. And now the Lions. They went on the road to Green Bay, a 6-2 team, and tied for second place in the division. The weather was nasty with rain and wind, but that did not affect Jared Goff and this Lions offense. Detroit handled Green Bay. The defense held Green Bay to 14 points. Without Brian Branch, who was ejected by the New York officials. Officials from New York paged in and said this guy has to be ejected for not letting up when he could have let up. So he was ejected in the first quarter of this game. Nonetheless, the defense held Green Bay to 14 points. A pick 6 from Kirby Joseph just before the half led to a 17-3 game at halftime, and it was over basically at halftime with the weather they had. Jordan Love was hobbling around. He did all he could. Detroit had Um, Also, they had a forced turnover and on downs, I believe twice, maybe one time in this game in the fourth quarter. Detroit had 2 fourth down touchdowns on offense, though, as well, sticking with the aggressiveness of Dan Campbell. Goff started off with 10 for 10 for the fourth time this season in a game, going 10 for 10 to start. He finished 18 of 22 for 145 yards in this rainstorm. And he had a touchdown to Amon-Ra St. Brown, who himself had 7 catches for 56 yards. And there was a statistic. The last 30 passes from Goff to St. Brown have been completed passes. David Montgomery had 17 carries for 73 yards for the Detroit Lions, a 4.3 average. Jahmyr Gibbs had 11 carries for 65 yards, a 5.9 average, and 1 rushing touchdown. The Lions are 7-1 for the first time in the Super Bowl era, and maybe ever, and are the most complete team in the NFL. Pick your poison. Even with Hutchinson going down, the defense is still rolling along. Next up is a road game versus the Texans for the Detroit Lions. Can they win the Super Bowl? I think they can. I think they're the best team in the NFL, and injuries concern me. They already had their bye week, like Tom Brady was saying, but going forward, how do you stop this team? Ben Johnson is a genius offensive coordinator. Dan Campbell gets them up to play every week. I love this team. All right, that's the Michigan Sports Report. I hope all of us can agree on the Lions and how dominant they are. Thank you, everybody. Remember to like the video, share with other people on social media or through word of mouth. Subscribe if you have not, and thank you if you have, of course. And I have to say, as a Michigan fan, go blue. But Michigan State has some good programs here. Number 3 in hockey. I can't wait for that matchup. So stay tuned, and we'll talk about it all every Monday or Sunday in this case, because there were no late games Sunday. Normally, if that happens, the video will be posted on Monday. So just keep that in mind. That's why you hit the bell for notifications too once you subscribe, so that you know when each video is posted. So thank you, everybody. Go Blue and go Michigan Athletics all the way around.